Hello, you listen to Hibs Talk. I'm your host, always Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
Alright.
And Stephen.
Hello.
We're back from our summer holidays, boys. How you doing?
I'm back for retirement.
I know. I had to talk you off the edge.
I'd sack this game.
But yeah, and in person as well. So yeah, how's your summer been, guys? Like I say, we've taken a break. We've not much needed, but how you guys been?
Been alright, just working away,
Yeah.
usual way. Nothing really changes.
Just worked. I worked every single sunny day.
Aye.
And then wherever I was off, it was pushing it down. It makes complete sense.
I like to say I chose to work from home on the Tuesday, the hottest day, and I hid in my house and like pulled the curtains and stuff, hid for the sun. Like
You've kind of got to though, haven't you?
Aye. Let's be honest, it was a necessity rather than choice. But yeah, it's been busy. I've been got a new job at work, so it's been pretty busy with that. But yeah, like I say, fair play to Long Bangers, Down the Slope and all that sort of stuff, and strong opinion Hibs for keeping the content coming over the summer. But we needed to recharge the batteries and take a break. Dave, after the break, we're going to get into a bit more detail. But has your optimism returned for Hibs?
Absolutely nowhere near it.
Aye.
I went through a wee phase, feeling a wee bit disconnected towards the end of last season, and then it's probably why I stopped podcasting and that as well, to be fair. But I wasn't going to the games, and then you start to get a wee bit optimism. Obviously, with new manager and that coming in, and I was like, right, maybe I'm going to be back in this game. You renew and that, and then as soon as we decide to start podcasting, all this shit all happens, and I'm like, yeah, I think I might just retire. Like I said, you coaxed me along a biscuit and coffee.
Aye,
I was like, okay.
it was the fact that like we were on the way to the Falkirk game, at the Falkirk game, speaking beforehand, and I was saying to you, is like, this is the most optimistic I'm going to be for this season. I didn't realise it was going to be 90 minutes later that optimism would start to fade.
Mate,
but
it was 20 minutes later the optimism started to fade.
You lied to me during that game as well.
Why did I lie to you?
Because after half time, the start of the second half, you were like, there's no way we don't win this game.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no way, like we will win this game easy.
Yeah.
Then we never.
To be fair, that was that game where we hit the post, we had it cleared off the line. There was like 3 handballs that should have been given for penalties. Well, maybe 2. One was like everyone was screaming for, and I was like, calm down. But yeah, it was on another day could have been a bit better. But yeah, not the best performance. What was your kind of overall view of the performances in the League Cup, Dave? Start with yourself.
Oh, just poor. You had that moment where you become a bit deluded because you beat Clyde 5-0, and you think, Christ, this is going to be amazing, and then obviously the wheels just come off straight away, and then it's just back to reality, and you're like, well, why did I think it all of a sudden was going to be amazing when last season was a shit show? Like, how's anyone meant to turn it around that quick?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when recency bias comes into it massively, and all Hibs fans suffer for it. You watched the 2 friendlies in Portugal too, and you were like, oh yes, this has got to be class. Nope.
I mean, like the friendlies, like Dave mentioned there, I remember, I think it was Kenny up high, or it might be Campbell, I can't remember, but one of them, it was Jake Todd-Hillis, that's who it was, up high, pressing somebody, forced somebody into an error, the ball fell to Johan, he hitting a screamer, and we're like, right, okay, there's a clear different approach in terms of the high press, a lot more direct. Seen that in the Clyde game, and then that style of play, like even like second half of the Clyde game, just like that kind of didn't stick around that style of play. But hopefully that's kind of what we're getting back to. But what have you made of the style of play in the game so far?
It's like a game of 2 halves, eh? Like you start off with a high pressing play, and then by the time half time comes, nobody else can be arsed with it anymore. I think that, especially after the Norwich game yesterday, a lot of the younger players are buying into it, and they're doing it. But I think a lot of like Doyle, Hayes, Deutch, the like Porteous, even to a degree, like they're still got the habits for Ross and Maloney. Like I think it's got to take a wee bit of adapting, but I mean that's pre-season over now. There's no excuses, eh? Like if this is the way he wants to play, the players have got to play it.
Yeah, Dave, I mean, I was on the Scottish Football Podcast for BBC doing a preview for the season, and I spoke about the players last season sort of not performing, and with new signings coming in, you've kind of like, there's a lot of pressure on them to perform, or the signings from last season. Is there any signings from last season, or players, that were there last season that have kind of stepped up a game under new management, or has it kind of been more of the same from some of those players that underperformed last season because we know they can do better?
To be fair, I think the only one that's performing better than last season so far for me is Melkerson. He seems a bit like, I don't know, a wee bit stronger. and a wee bit more like involved in games. And he made the comment. He said he felt like he would make 100 runs a game and not get the ball. So maybe that's changed for him. So he's a bit more involved. He said he will be coming in off the left, because he prefers central. But if it gets him more of the ball and cut in and then hit a shot, that's what he wants. But other than that, then it's the same players for me. Newell was good against Bonnyrigg. What does that tell you? Like, if that's the games he can step up in. I just don't think Newell, Jake Hayes and Campbell, like, what doesn't work? It's not worked under 3 managers, 2 previous managers, and now under Johnson. So
4 if you include the caretaker as well.
Yeah, I would love to know why. Just somebody just to sit down and explain to me why that 3 is a thing. Because obviously people that know more about football than me do think it is. So if they could sit down and explain it to me, it'd be absolutely fantastic, because it's no good to watch and it's not effective in a game, because we don't control the game, we just get bossed about, and they don't do anything like to justify not being able to control the game. It's not like they create stuff unless it's against really inferior opposition, like basically a junior team.
But even then, can't create enough. Well, like I say, we did create some chances against Falkirk, but even then, it's not been clear-cut chances enough to win a game against a League One side.
We were better against Falkirk because Henderson came on and Melkerson came on. That was it. That was why we were better.
Yeah. So I mean, it is quite embarrassing, Stephen. I know we put out the tweet saying we'll be back tonight, and you and Cameron was one of the people that's been giving us a bit of stick amongst many Hearts fans and stuff. It's not a great look for the club not qualifying from a group with Falkirk, Morton, Agnew Morton, Bonnyrigg Rose and Clyde. Like that's we should have ran away with that group.
Yeah, I think obviously Henderson's probably been my standout for like that's improved for last season. Like he's when he gets the ball, he's that player that'll make the difference. That group, it was like, I don't know how we never got 12 points. You look at Aberdeen's tweets today, 4 games, was it 12 points, 12 goals and 0 like conceded or something ridiculous. We should have ran away with the group. We had plenty of chances against Falkirk, never took them. I think the midfield's obviously the falling point, but yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can look at it, we're out the cup now. All we've got is the league to focus on till after January, so there's no reason why we shouldn't be top 3 by January. No, I'm being serious, and I said this to John yesterday at Norwich because he was there. Like the amount of times that we go into a season and we can be top of the league. Even last season we were like top of the league or top 2 for about 10 or 11 games. Like if we can't continue that till Christmas, then like we've not got any chance of finishing top 6 this season. We need to be in the top 3 this season by Christmas anyway. And we've got no excuses over Hearts, Rangers, Celtic, Dundee United. We're all playing European football.
Yeah,
I think we've got a big excuse. We're shite. We are absolute shite, and we've just had a really poor season, so I don't know how we turn it round that fast and then become third. Like I've chose this season, I know it sounds negative, I've chose not to be deluded. That's what
or is it you're not emotionally investing because then you'll be hurt if you do psych
yourself
up?
They hurt me all the time. Let's face it. They hurt everyone gets hurt by Hibs. And I'm not going to sit and moan about stuff, right? But there's a couple of things we did beat ourselves like up all the time, and it's like if Hibs can fuck something up, we'll do it to ourselves. Even daft things. I know this is really stupid, but getting McGeady to sign with that pen.
What's wrong with those pens?
Just get a fucking better
Look,
pen.
I've got dyslexia. Those are great pens.
Shut up, guys.
I genuinely do. I'm fucking dinos.
But just make it no a joke. Just let him sign, and then it's a good signing rather than it becoming a meme. And then
I don't get it.
Daft things like that, and then obviously the whole admin error, and then the fucking, like, as much as I'm not that arsed about it, the boy Rudy getting the 51 jersey.
Silly little things.
There's just hundreds of wee daft stupid things that we didn't need to bring attention to ourselves for to be a laugher, but we do it every time.
At no point did I say that I think we're going to be top 3, by the way.
We need to be.
I said we need to be, and I says that we've not got any excuses. Whether if Hibs fuck up and we're not third in the league or better by Christmas, then that's when we've got a problem.
Yeah. I mean, like say on the admin error there. I mean, it's frustrating, but at the end of the day, I'm not here to really talk about that. We're here to talk about football. Like, and the fact is, like, if it had cost us, we would maybe have more of a discussion on it. But at the end of the day, Morton won that game and got the extra point on the penalties. And if that result hadn't changed to a 3-0, we still would be out the League Cup. That's not cost us our position. Our performance on the pitch cost us a place in the League Cup. Nothing to do with that. Like, mathematically, we'd still be out. Like, it's embarrassing. They're not qualified.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's the worst possible start that Lee Johnson could have had. Yeah. Especially for a manager that's come in that a lot of fans weren't convinced by anyway. So. Yeah,
I mean, like I say, I don't understand that. I think he's a good manager, a good pedigree. I don't blame him. I blame him a wee bit, but not overly. I think he's like I say, we're going to come on to the transfers now. I mean, like my point on this was like the squad last season. I mentioned it there a minute ago. A lot of players that you'd expect better from weren't performing, so he needs to either turn those players around or have new signings hit the ground running. Unfortunately, like say Kenny, Miller, McGeady, none of those have hit the ground running. And the players from last season has not been a great improvement. So, and then the ones that the other new signings have been red taped and not been able to play, like Tavares and Johan and stuff. So, I mean, let's have a chat about the transfers then. Before we kicked a ball and the signings were made, which signing got you guys the most excited?
Tavares.
Yeah,
I'd say that was.
Why would you say that?
I just think it's the excitement of a boy coming over for, what was it, Benfica? Benfica. Wee bit of like European pedigree, gives that a wee bit of flair. And even watching his videos and that, like, I mean, I don't normally get excited by like the highlight clips and that players come with, because I mean, you look at Canberra's and look at what happened there.
What's wrong with Canberra? Canberra was amazing.
Absolutely.
He can move to a big club like Rangers, don't you know?
Well, you've got to talk to prove it. So, but no, I think it was just the excitement of a boy that's come over from Portugal, which are a competitive league. It's been compared to the Scottish League in terms of like the physicality and stuff, and he had a wee bit of pace about him. It reminded me of the like Russell Latipe that we picked up right at the very start and stuff. It's just general excitement, eh?
And the fact he was given the number 10 jersey as well, like, all right, okay, this is a player we need to pay attention to and getting excited about.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Dave, what were you selling? Which player before a ball was kicked, where you were like, right, I can't wait to see him?
Kenny for Leeds.
And the fact there was reports that Leeds were unhappy that they were unable to convince him to stay.
Yeah,
it said a lot.
Yeah, no, that and there was just a lot of good feeling around about the signing, and it felt like a wee bit of a coup for Hibs to get him. So, and what we've needed like somebody like strong and dominant in the middle of the park. So that's the one that I was probably most excited for, to be fair. And it probably now the Croatian left back, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he. Well, I mean, look at him first. I mean, the Croatian left back, and I don't want to be too harsh on Louis, but I thought Louis has struggled in the cup games. And when you're struggling against Bonnie Rose and against Falkirk, that's a concern. When we're going to be coming up against a good Hearts side, Celtic, Rangers, Dundee United, Aberdeen, so it's a position we really need. I don't know if Mitchell's going to be competition for left back or if he's going to be treated as a winger. That's still a bit unclear, but I think it's a position we need. And like I say, it's just another frustrating one held up by red tape, though.
Tell you what, by the way, is it Oscar McIntyre, the left back for the under-20s development, he played the second half against Norwich yesterday, and he was actually class. Like, I mean, now's the time, obviously, with a young squad, bring the players through for the development team. Like, I would have him over Louis Stevenson if we never had that Croatian boy for St Johnstone.
Oh. I mean, like I say, I tried not to get too carried away, because I remember seeing Callum Crane be amazing in a friendly and being like, well, he's our left back.
Take him for the first game, though. Take him for the first game, and then obviously you're going to need the Croatian for like Hearts a week later. But I mean, it's first game of the season, eh? Like, we should be beating St Johnstone. But in saying that, it was
a player that's now left, and we not really touched on Josh Doig. He kind of was not really kind of planned to be involved as much as he was, and then kind of injuries and stuff kind of led to him getting that opportunity, and then they kept the jersey. Like, so maybe Steve's got a point. Get McIntyre, throw him in.
I think so. I agree with you. I think Stevenson's been poor, but he finished last season strong.
He did, very strong.
In the middle of the park, though.
Yeah,
a lot
of the time. Yeah.
So I'd say if Stevenson's got any role to play, I'd rather him in the middle of the park than at left back.
On the other side, one player we've briefly mentioned is Miller. Obviously Australian under-23 internationalist. I have seen a bit of criticism. Seems a bit harsh considering he's came from the other side of the world. It's going to take some time for him to settle in. What have you kind of made of him so far, and would you make of the criticism?
This is the problem though. It's like people watch these friendlies and then they're the worst player in the world, or in the next game they're world beaters. It's like I've seen it with Kenny. It's like, oh, he's class. He's going to be the next best thing. He's not going to be here next season. And then he has a shite game and he's he's pish. He's like, just that's where people go. They're too emotional. These folk need like 10, 15 games before you can have a solid opinion, and they'll know they'll get rid off. And it feels that way with Miller already. A lot of folk are like, he's not going to be good enough. Well, how do we know? Like, it's a pre-season. Like,
I think the biggest problem is, like, you're going into the first game of the season now where St Johnstone have recruited with experience, and our recruitment age has probably been about 21, 22 on average. Since
I'll tell you what, you keep on talking, I'll do the maths on the calculator.
Minus McGeady, because he'll probably not be playing for the next 10 games anyway, though.
We'll do an outfield player soon to take out Marshall, but McGeady counts.
So apart from McGeady, I think the average is probably about like 21, 22, and you're taking that into account against a St Johnstone team who have recruited Murphy, Wright, did you say Ryan McGowan as well?
McGowan,
like players like that have got experience. I think that's where we'll struggle if people like Newell, Melkerson, Deutch, who I'm assuming will probably be starting against them as well.
I've done it wrong.
Need to step up.
An average age 169.625. I think I've typed it in wrong.
Yeah, well, you've got dyslexia, so it doesn't
I'll try that.
You've done that wrong.
I'll try that again in a minute. But yeah, like I say, it is young signings. But like I say, you mentioned they're one of the older ones, McGeady. Overall, not really seen what we'd kind of hoped yet. But there's been moments of brilliance where we think, right, okay, once he's up to full speed, we've got a player there.
Aye, but how long is it going to take? Half a season? It'll be like Chris Commons all over again when we signed him. Fat bastarditis for the first like 6 months.
McGeady's in shape though, like.
But he's slow though. He's not the McGeady that we were promised.
Oh, he's quite nippier 2 yards.
Yeah, aye.
Like to get away from somebody.
But the pitch is over 100 yards, so
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Dave, your thoughts on McGeady then?
He's looked alright in spells, but in general quite poor. He was poor against Falkirk. First half, and then he subbed at half time, but he was no bad against Bonnyrigg. I don't know, it's hard to tell because I keep saying it's pre-season, but obviously the League Cup wasn't pre-season, and that was part of the problem. Like, we made that team that faced Falkirk was poor, like, and then I think we probably disrespected the competition a wee bit, and then we've paid for it and deserve it. It's a bit of a wake-up call for Lee Johnson, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Tavares we've already kind of touched on, but and Rocky returning, obviously he was there last season. But it'll be interesting to see, like say that Ron Gordon hinted when chatting to the podcast, he hinted that potentially another centre back on the way. So if that is the case, it'll be interesting to see if Porch is sticking around, whether Rocky will keep his jersey. But probably a good squad player to have if he's not starting. Don't know if he's ready for the starting yet. Kenny we've touched on, David Marshall. So the last two, the two strikers, Johan, 5 goals in a game against Norwich under 23s, but it's just like so frustrating that a striker was a position that we're really struggling for last season. Nisbet and Deutch got injured, and it's like, right, okay, we are really short. Melkerson seems to be getting moved more to the wing. We're signing a striker like Johan that's going to be meant to be, the one to get really excited about, and he's not been able to play because of work permits. It's just.
We get down about that. That's just unfortunately the way everyone's went, like with the UK. So there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, it's no. I'm not blaming Hibs. It's really infuriating from a fan's point of view when you're excited to see players in the new season.
Just got to blame Boris, eh?
No, it definitely is frustrating. And then we've signed that McAllister as well. Did we know? You've not mentioned him.
Oh, right enough. Aye. He's on the.
Yeah.
I'll add him to C17.
McClellan, do you mean?
That changes my maths.
No, the assistant manager.
I did say McClelland as well, yeah.
I told you there was more than that.
Transfer market let me down. They said,
I told you it was like 12.
Aye, that's another 2, so that gets up to 11 and then 12 if you include Henderson.
Ruben McAllister.
Aye. Is he not just going straight into development again, though?
Yeah, but again, it's like at least like that to me is like a good signing if he is promising and that, and then it would just be good if like he got maybe a wee bit of action. Yeah. I know he's still a young boy, but to beat like some of the clubs that we were meant to beat to get him, like I know it does help when your dad's at the club, but if that's what tipped us out the edge, then fine. Like,
you know what I mean? Take it.
I'm definitely going to take it. What are you wanting at, Gav?
The average age, let's say without McGeady. So let's have a look. So the average age of the signings with McGeady is 22.3 years old.
Uh-huh.
But if I take off McGeady, who's 36, and divide it by 10 rather than 11, no, 9. How many signings? I've lost it. Well, I've got to work it in a minute. We'll come back to it. But yeah, with McGeady, with outfield signings this season, 22.3 has been the average age, including McGeady. So that, you know, isn't going to bring out much, but a wee bit. But yeah, so that's exciting. There's like I say, going through the ages there. 25, 21, 36 from McGeady, 23, 21, 22, 19, 21. 17, no, 16 is McAllister, and 19 for McClelland. So yeah, really young additions. Like I think McClelland was one that was initially seen as a development signing, and they planned to put him out on loan, and then they've seen him and thought, nah, you're all right for in and around the squad. So that's encouraging. And he was one enough to say the first 2 games really impressed me. I thought he was one of the only sort of shining lights the first half against Falkirk, and then he got subbed at half time. So really strange. I remember everyone being really bemused at that. But yeah, another one, Bojang. We've not seen much of him, but obviously they need a bit of depth up front. So
got a bit of pace on him.
Aye, very fast striker. So like I say, I don't know if he can play on the wing as well. Maybe utilise that pace out wide. But yeah, so obviously we mentioned the potential centre back there. What do we still need in the remainder of the window?
What do we need? Oh my God, that's the concerning thing. Is I still think we've signed 11, 12 players, and we're still needing quality. Like that's for me is the concerning thing. I've no really any of the new signings of like stood out that much that I'm like, but another centre half is definitely needed, because Porteous has been poor, very poor. There's something just doesn't feel right with him. I don't know what. What else do we need?
Probably another right back.
Nah, we've got Cadden, Miller.
Oh, Cadden's still there. I completely forgot.
Yeah. Potentially, I think it'll be interesting to see whether Mitchell's used. I think if he's part of the front line, I think we're kind of like looking quite heavy up there. Potentially too heavy, which just seems crazy compared to last season. Whereas if he's a left back, I like him. I quite like him as competition. But I think he's a player that I want to play. So if he's playing second choice left back, I don't know how happy he'll be with that. So I think he's one we kind of completely forget about, because we only got a few games out of him and he got injured. So if he can keep injury free, which is obviously like one of the problems, like say we said this last season about McGuinness, and you see what happens. So if he can keep injury free, he's one that I think could be treated like a new signing. And Nisbet coming back October, November time could be a new signing as well when he comes back. But talented player. But yes, we'll see. Like say, let us know what you think we still need this window. Let's look ahead to the season briefly. Like I say, Stephen has got us third by Christmas, or we should be, because we don't have any other games. I mean, it's a really interesting one. Hearts obviously finished third last season, and with the exception of their big striker going back to Everton, they've replaced him with Shankland, very different type of striker. But other than that, they've just sort of added to it. Obviously, you could actually say about John Sutter going to Rangers, but Aberdeen, Stephen mentioned earlier, 4 wins from 4 games, throwing a bit of money about. Dundee United have got a manager who knows how to get third in the league, in Jack Ross, and have a talented squad. It's not as straightforward as thinking, right, well, Hearts are maybe a bit established, we'll finish 4th. It's going to be really tough to finish, that top 6 battle.
Yeah, and we've got a hard start to the season.
Yeah.
Away to our bogey team first, then obviously them two at Easter Road, and in between Sangers and between that away trip to Livy, is it?
I think so, double check.
That is honking.
Really hard start.
So the good thing is maybe like
the thing is, so if we get a derby win, like nobody's got to care about this League Cup. Nobody's got to care about how bad the start of the season.
Definitely no. There's still time to change the mood. But I just think after the League Cup, like if you start this season bad, it just especially with the games that we've got, there could be quite a bad feeling round about Easter Road quite quickly this season.
And we've not got a great record at S Livingston. We've not got a great record there. Have you seen their new kit, by the way?
Yes.
Stunning, eh?
Nah.
Oh, I really like it. Steven?
Yeah, you
not
would.
A big
You're
fan,
fucking Livy loyal, you. Actually, I think you like Livy more than him.
Gav supports more teams than you and Cameron.
I think it's a nice kit. But yeah, St Johnstone away, Hearts at home on the Sunday, Livingston away, Rangers at home, and then St Mirren away. So yeah, it's a tough start. It's a tough league. Like, let's be honest. Like, and it's going to be really interesting, that fight for kind of top six, and then like say, in terms of like say get us into top six, I think we'll finish above like the Ross County and stuff. But there's teams like that prove that they can go on a run and get into the top six. Yes, the standard was probably a bit lower. I'd expect it to be a bit higher last season, and the point difference between 4th place and 7th, 8th, 9th to be a bit bigger than it was last season. But yeah, it's not as straightforward.
I just think with the opportunity European football being better because of the coefficients better, and the more places that are up for grabs and that, the longer that we keep having poor seasons and no
further away we're getting
in, the further away we fall.
Dave, how do you not get knocked out of the group stages of the League Cup?
Oh, you're in Europe.
You're in Europe, you don't have to play it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just have a normal pre-season, exactly what Lee Johnson wants. So
yeah,
he can fix all his problems, and he can have a 4th official to stand and talk to, because the games will be proper by then. It'll not be the league group.
Yeah.
So he'll have nothing to moan about. So fix it.
So like I say, who do you see as player of the year when the season ends? Who you put are your predictors for player of the year?
Some laugh. Our player of the year, probably David Marshall.
I think probably Henderson.
Right.
I think Henderson will probably make the board more difference.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, Chris Cadden got our player of the year last season, so.
It wasn't a lot of competition last season, unfortunately. It wasn't a great season. Like I say, no disrespect to Chris Cadden, but he didn't even have a good season in terms of what I'd expect from him.
I don't even think me saying David Marshall's that bad, because I think we need a proper experienced goalkeeper to be behind centre halves that are quite inexperienced, let's be honest. Apart from Porteous.
Well, to be fair, he's got to keep Dabrowski out of goal, so it suits me fine.
Yeah, Dabrowski's
poor game against Falkirk. A bit. I was thinking I was watching Macalambe at times. It was kind of a bit eccentric for my liking from a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But I still like Big Kevin. I think he'll be a good goalkeeper long term.
Closer to Zibby than Macalambe for me. Like fuck me.
It was just giving us a bit of deja vu, a bit of reminiscing. But yeah, I play it. So where do you think we'll finish this season?
If I'm being completely honest, I think probably the best we can hope for, and this is probably 5th.
Who do you think gets 4th? Well, I'm just assuming Hearts get 3rd, but who do you think gets 4th?
Probably between Aberdeen and Dundee United, for me.
Yeah.
I mean, Dundee United, and folk will be like, why Dundee United? Well, they finished above us last year, and to be fair,
they've got a better manager than they had last season.
Yeah, and Stephen Fletcher's a good signing.
Yeah.
And then they've got quite good experience, like Watt and Fletcher up front. Yes. Yeah.
They're a good side. Like I say, Jack Ross knows how to get. Like I say, the Dundee United fans might be a bit bored, but he knows how to get results.
Yeah.
Like I say, as long as he doesn't get hit by injuries and then sacked for getting to cup final with an injury hit the squad. But yeah, Stephen, where were you having us finish in this season?
Expectations for the reality is about 6th.
Right.
I genuinely kind of. I think we'll be lucky to scrape top 6. Unless things perk up really fast.
Like I say, I think it's a young squad. I'm willing to kind of see this as more of a transitional season. I know that sounds crazy, but I am. Like a new manager who's going to implement a different style of football, sign young players, take time to bed them in. Like I say, the squad was that much of a mess last season. I don't blame I don't blame Lee Johnstone for that. So yeah, I will accept, like, as long as I see some exciting football and a bit more goals, a bit more goal action. Like I say, I'll accept like 5th or 6th. Top 6 is minimum. Not top 6, and there's serious questions has to be asked. And I'm not talking about just scraping into top 6. It needs to be quite a bit clearer 7th.
Yeah, because I'm not even happy with 5th, but I just don't know how we can go for finishing 3rd, comfy, to being like you just completely unravel.
To be fair, Dundee United just got promoted last season. Well, 2 seasons ago, and then finished 4th last season. So
yeah. Like I say, I think I've seen that a few times though, where teams have came up and like they've got that momentum from winning games all the time. That becomes a habit, and then they get promoted. Like because it's been good teams that have been getting relegated, like Hibs, Hearts, Dundee United.
Hearts have went Championship to European football.
Yeah,
exact same way that we did when we got up. Like.
It's a tough one. But I think we can't just sit here and be optimistic about all these new signings hitting the ground and ignoring the strength of some of our competitors for those places. We've mentioned Aberdeen, Dundee United, and the strength to them, and Hearts kicking on. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Like I say, as long as I'm seeing improvements from Hibs, exciting football, and like I say, it's a young team, I'm willing to be more patient with this season and I'm more of a kick on next season. I don't want to write off this season before it's even started, but I'll say fifth.
I want to buy into what Lee Johnson says too, because he talks a good game. Like he says, everything that I want a manager to say. Like he's like, oh, we'll throw the kitchen sink at things. Even when we go to Celtic Park and Ibrox, we'll know gone like to sit in and draw. We'll go and try and win. And he even made a joke when like there might be some bad results out of this philosophy. But
that's what we were promised at the start, Gavi, when you done that Roker report thing. He's told us that there would be games that are like winning 5-0, 6-0, and then getting humped 5-0 the next game week. Like,
yeah, I didn't think it would start with a 5-0 win and then getting beat to Falkirk the week after. I didn't think it'd be that immediate, but yeah. So yeah, like I say, the season, like we're looking ahead to the season, the first game is St Johnstone away. Like we'll just keep this brief because like I say, it's a bit of an unknown. We've not seen St Johnstone play yet. I've not watched any of the League Cup games, but yeah, their transfer business, they bring in. You mentioned some of these names earlier on. Ryan McGowan, I think it's a really good bit of business. Jamie Murphy, no comment. Graham Carey from Russia. Adam Montgomery on loan from Celtic. Dre Wright, another familiar face. Andrew Considine, who I believe missed a penalty in the shootout in the cup, but he's been signed. And like I said, a few others, obviously like the Hallberg stuff are there. What like say you, Dave? You mentioned earlier, or was it Stephen? Sorry, you said you've been impressed. They've been signing experienced players.
Yeah. I think they've got a more experienced squad than us anyway. It just depends on how we react to it, but I can already see it. Fucking 1-0 Dre Wright, like it's got painted on the wall. We've got a bad habit of that, but no, St Johnstone's a team that we should be beating. Especially the first game of the season.
They also failed to qualify from their group. Annan won the group with 10 points. Queen of the South came second. And St Johnstone also got 8 points but came third.
So what you're telling me is that St Johnstone are poor and
we are worse.
Full of ex-Hibs players and folk that don't like Hibs. So what could possibly go wrong on Saturday? What could possibly go wrong? A game that Hibs are expected to win. I feel like I've read
this story before.
Nah, we need to be optimistic, I suppose. Like, get after a good start to the season.
Yeah.
If we get into the Derby game, Easter Road, after beating St Johnstone, yeah, that'll probably feel quite good. And who have they got first game of the season?
I'll check that just now. Whilst I'm checking, what's your score prediction for Saturday?
Stephen, you go first.
1-0 St Johnstone.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm going to say we'll win 2-1. And the delusion is back.
I know, just like that. Literally 30 seconds.
I think it depends.
I don't know if I believe that, but because it's hard just to pick up optimism for nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to try and be honest, but hopefully we 2-1 win. And get into the Hearts game with a bit of optimism.
I do want us to win. Like,
I would hope so.
I never just say all these like shitey results as like banter and that. Like, there's the whole expectation for reality. Like, you see how pre-season and the League Cups went for us. It just doesn't fill me with confidence.
Yeah, Hearts have got Ross County at home first game of the season, so they'll be on 3 points as we go to Easter Road.
No, I wouldn't disrespect Ross County like that.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, like, let us know your score predictions. So just to finish up today, we'll try and keep this quick. We didn't do one of the podcasts we planned to do before going on our break was a season review. We never got to that, so I have got a quiz about last season, so this can count as our season review. So we're doing a season preview and a season review in the same podcast. How
to be fair, I missed like 3/4 of the season. I was blacked out from it,
so like I say, 10 questions, say your name and I'll wait for me to come to you, And like I say, so your name's your buzzer. Dave, is your buzzer working?
Dave.
Steve, is your buzzer working?
Dave.
No. Go and turn that knob there, see if that fixes it.
Fuck off.
Right.
Steven.
So I will like I say, run through these questions, and then like I say, we'll see who wins this. So yes, Hibs started the season with a shock win over Arsenal, which we'll see in their documentary, which comes out soon. You must be looking forward to that, Stephen. Who scored the 2 goals for Hibs? Was it Boyle and Bradley, Boyle and Jake Doyle-Hayes, Boyle and Mackay?
Dave. Boyle and Mackay.
It was Boyle and Mackay. Yes, that's 1-0, Dave.
Well done, Dave.
Thank you.
2. How many goals did Hibs score in Europe? 4, 5, 6, or 7?
7. Steven, 7.
Buzzer's really broken, isn't it? Yeah, it's 7. Point to Stephen. The first defeat of the season came at Ibrox after a red card for Porteous. How many domestic games were Hibs unbeaten up until then? So was it 7 games, 8 games, 9 games, or 10 games?
Steven, 10.
Nope.
Oh shit.
Dave. 7.
It was 9.
9.
9 games. Imagine going unbeaten in the first 9 games and getting sacked like 4 weeks later. It wasn't 4, but you know what I mean. That was the first of 4 defeats in a row. That kind of probably helps understand it a bit more. Domestically, anyway. Who did we beat after that? So who ended the result? And I realised I haven't actually highlighted the answer here because I wrote this 2 months ago. So I'll quickly check. St Johnstone, Rangers, Dundee United, Motherwell.
Motherwell. Dave.
Was it Dave? I don't know. I have to check.
I just know that they were shite last season too, but still finished in a European spot, and they've done really well with it. To be fair, absolute wasters, man. Getting an Irish team in Europe, and I don't know what the second leg score.
Is it not in the morning?
Is it? I know, I know it's coming up. Because I've got a Motherwell fan at my work,
Right.
and then I went in midweek and then went to start ripping him, and then he was like, "You can't rip me." I was like, "No, I can't." You're right. So we cuddled, and just felt sorry for each other.
It's fair.
Football, man. Do you think you miss it?
I know.
You didn't.
You absolutely don't know.
Gav's still checking.
So yeah, I have given away the answer there by checking. So Stephen can't come in. So yes, Dave, that was incorrect. It was Rangers. It was of course the game where Boyle scored the hat-trick at Hampden. So yes, that was us getting back to winning ways. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
The next question. Yes, it was Rangers at Hampden. I've got the answer right here. Anyway, the Boyle hat-trick. Who scored for them? Was it Arfield, Davis, Hanlon, ONG, or Kent?
Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Arfield.
It was Arfield, yes. That's why I didn't circle the answer, because I wrote the answer in the next one. I'm not crazy. What's the score, by the way? So yeah, it's currently 2-1 to Stephen. So, who were the 2 players sent off in Jack Ross's last game? Was it Jake Doyle-Hayes and Porteous and McGinn, McGinn and Hanlon, or Hanlon and Boyle?
Steven, Hanlon and Boyle.
Nope.
Oh, fuck.
So
Dave. It was Boyle and McGinn.
No, it was McGinn and Hanlon.
McGinn and Hanlon.
Yeah, 2 defenders got sent off.
Did Boyle get sent off walking off the park or something?
He might have done afterwards, yeah. Aye.
He did.
Aye.
He
So
said
I'll give you the
something.
point then.
Yeah, thank you.
2-2.
But I says Boyle and Hanlon, so technically I got one right as well. And I
You
says
got
it
a point as
before
well then.
Dave.
3-2.
That's Thank
What
you.
was the? Who cares? It doesn't matter. What was the first 3 games Sir David managed? Was it St Mirren, Dundee, Celtic, Dundee, Hearts, St Mirren, Celtic, Motherwell, St Mirren, St Johnstone, Dundee?
Dave, it was the St Mirren Hearts combo.
Nope.
Nope.
Stephen?
St Mirren and Dundee combo.
That's the Celtic combo.
Oh well.
So I can read out the answers again. You can.
Aye, go for it.
St Mirren, Dundee, Celtic, Dundee, Hearts, St Mirren, Celtic, Motherwell, St Mirren, St Johnstone, Dundee.
Aye, the first one.
Yeah, it's correct.
Thanks.
So congratulations, Stephen, on winning the quiz there. Just a wee short one there. 4-2 to Stephen. Apologies if I said 10 questions earlier on. There wasn't 10 questions. Shows how organised we are for coming back. But yes, congratulations, Stephen. But it's just for fun. That counts as our season review, so that can be that ticked off as well. So yes, Alexi, how are you feeling about the season now that we've got back into the swing of chatting about it? Are you excited, Dave? Are you ready to go?
I'm gonna try and stay open minded because it's a new regime, so I'm gonna say open minded. I'm gonna try and give them like Lee Johnson the first 10 games, and then assess. That's my sensible heed. But bad start.
Stephen?
I'll give him the first 10 games, including the League Cup and the pre-season games. So I think we're up to about 8 now. So he's already on thin ice.
You're basically Lee Johnson already. No, makes sense. Well, we're back.
No, I'm giving him the St Johnstone and the Hearts games.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, like I say, I think Dave, you sort of mentioned it earlier. I think a lot of these nice signings need 10, 15 league games, and we'll sort of kind of judge it more from there. We'll try and keep that balanced optimism as we go through the season, but we'll see what happens as the results come in and how we're feeling. So, like I say, let us know your thoughts on the season. Let's finish with some positive stuff. Dave, I know you're ready to play fives. What are you having for dinner when you get home?
God, tacos, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Taco Monday, well, on Taco Tuesday. It's madman right there. But still, good choice.
Is that what tacos is meant to be on Tuesday?
It's just it's the
Just
same.
rhymes.
Aye,
Oh, no rhymes.
No
but
rhymes, but you know,
flows.
aye,
Flows
the-
better.
double T. I can't remember the word for that. I'll blame my dyslexia for that. Stephen, what are you having?
Not got a clue yet.
No.
Just finished work, so I've not even been home to look yet. Had to rush up here to do this.
Apologies about that. I'm having baked
Well,
ties
you don't
tonight.
need to apologise. It's Dave that needs to apologise because he's the one that's playing fives.
Aye, so selfish, Dave.
Not a popular guy. And to be fair, I need to run a bit more.
Yeah.
Aye. A wee bit of belly to try and lose.
I'll
I
let you
should probably do the same, but I'll think about it and not do it. That's the plan. That's what it has been for the last 10 years. Think about losing weight. Maybe once or twice, maybe do it a wee bit, but yeah.
So what are you having for your dinner then?
Baked ties.
Baked ties. Sounds
On
good.
what though? Like what's on them?
Cheese and beans on one and tuna mayo on the other.
Mixing up a bit.
Aye.
Strange
It'll
combination.
probably be 1.5 because the size of potatoes. I'll not manage 2 ties, so I'm planning to cut in half. And
Fair enough.
yeah. So enjoy your tacos. Though. I'm very jealous. Tacos are brilliant.
Yeah.
Aye, that's a good choice. Stephen, you can fill us in next week what you're having when we're back reviewing the St Johnstone game and looking ahead to the derby. So like I
He's
say,
going to St John's
Next week. How has this happened?
what?
Already? How is it back?
The
Already
season's-
that fast? It just feels fast.
because we're looking at the other podcast and seen how many episodes are up to. And we're like, shit, we've been
Oh, they'll catch us and overtake us in no time
we've
at all.
been around about 2 years longer and we've done about 12 episodes more.
I know. That's just over 5 years now. We
Yeah.
missed our 5th birthday back in May.
Yeah, that's because Dave is on a hiatus again. So
Aye. We've had about 1 million hiatuses, so
Aye, but it's better
we've,
though.
we've all
Like,
we've all taken turns.
I like a summer break and
Yeah.
that. And I know I had a end of season break there, but
I'm sure people that listen to us also love the summer break as well. Like, fucking stop the moaning for 8 weeks, but
like I say, we'll be back next week, so look forward to that. Thanks again, guys.
cheers.
Cheers for listening.